I say we just send it, Doc. Oh, look, it's already sent.
Yeah, we're sending it.
Boom, it's sent.
We're live, Uncle Tony. Or
yes, we are, Dr. Art. Greetings. Greetings, Dr. Art, and all who are watching this.
Yeah.
Why? Don't you have better things? There's got to be something better you could be doing than sitting here watching this. But we're grateful that you're here. Puzzled, but grateful just the same.
Yeah.
How are you, Dr. Art?
Good. I got the window open up here because it's a little hot upstairs, so it's nice. I got some nice breeze and stuff like that. And I got a couple wild stories from the week, and so we should be good.
Stories.
Yes, it's one of them is slightly unbelievable.
Well,
let's get some folks in here and we'll tell this story because it's just strange.
But we have Mexican Spec and Lobe Man 78 and Side Rider and Joker already in here. Yeah.
Bill McKeiska, Thunderstrucker.
Yeah. Is that enough people for a story, or you need more?
No. We'll wait till 7, and then we'll get 12 people in
here. And Rocco, and so is Mark Sauvé and Boomer.
Mm-hmm. Robert Myers here.
We'll wait.
Yeah.
I have had absolutely nothing eventful go on except I got the 2026 Cold War Motors calendar.
Oh, so nice.
He sent this to me because he loves me. You see what I'm saying? He doesn't even have these things in stock anymore. He actually stole this from one of his
one of his children. Yeah.
So now I've got it, and it's all mine. And
oh, very nice.
He does such nice stuff. Kathy's like, why don't you do things like that? Because I'm not Scott. I don't have any class. Look at the cover shot there. Look how nice that is.
Yeah. Everything he has paint and stuff.
You guys got to get in line for his 2027 calendar. He sells them out quickly, so if you want one, I'm telling you, they're really nice. So thank you, Scott. I greatly appreciate that. Let's see. Tim Ferguson is in here. Buddy Carfano's in here. Lumpy's in here.
Boomer, yeah. Okay, so here's we got enough people to tell this story, and this is it's very strange.
Tom Houghton is also here, but go ahead.
Okay, so Monday night I get done with the live. I go downstairs and stuff like that. It's it's dark outside, right? And then I sit down on the couch, and then both those dogs are in the front room. And all of a sudden, they start just going bananas, barking, wanting to jump out the window and stuff like that. They're like, what the heck is this? So I go, okay, what are you two barking at? And because it's dark, and I look out on the lawn, and all I can see is a little flashlight creeping along the grass and a blinking red dot. And I'm like, what's going on? So this object, it comes around by the front door. So I turn on the porch light, and it's a cat with a flashlight and a GoPro strapped to it.
Really?
Yes. So somebody was very interested in what their cat was doing at night, made a little thing with a GoPro and a flashlight on it, and set their cat out into the wild to torment all the dogs in the neighborhood.
I will bet you that's probably a channel, okay? And that's what they do. That would get so many views. How many people would just sit up all night? That's an insomniac's dream.
Yeah, and if they could live stream their cat somehow with this
GoPro. What I'm saying.
Yeah, but it was like a cat with a flashlight.
Oh, that's excellent. Mexican Spec wants to know how the cat didn't knock off the GoPro. They make harnesses for dogs and cats to carry GoPros.
Yeah. The flashlight was like, okay, see, this is your cat. The flashlight was under here, like under his little head, and the GoPro was up here. So you had a white light and a little blinking red light from the GoPro up here, and it was very strange. Little ears and blinking light. And
Scott Zur is from the Island Dragway area. Many years since I've been to that area. It's a sod farm. The whole area, from what I remember, is a sod farm, and they had a tech strip in the middle of a sod farm. Paul Bruno was here. Paul and I shot a video today. Paul, it's not usable. I was going to text you after for a bunch of technical reasons and stuff like that. We tried. I'll message you later on or tomorrow morning. But yes, Paul and I shot a video and it didn't quite work out, so we're going to reshoot that.
Yeah, the one you shot the other day and you called me out. I appreciate that. Thank you. Because I had some people come over and watch that in the last couple days. Yeah.
Let's see. Mexican Spec is saying, I was disappointed Tony didn't show the back of your car. I wanted to see if you still have tall Ford letters on the right side of the trunk. I can picture that.
Yeah, I believe he does.
Yeah, I don't know if I could just picture it generically in my head because it's kind of like burned in.
Yeah, in the forward. Yeah. The Shannon is here, and Shannon 78 Monty. He's the one that came all the way down from Maine to pick up El Camino #2, and he cannonballed. He worked all day Thursday, drove 22 hours, so he spent 30 hours awake. Died Friday night, slept like part of the night, and was here Saturday morning. Picked up the El Camino, and then cannonballed with his buddy all the way back up to Maine. Another 22 hours.
Excellent. Did he make video of that?
Yeah. He did good. He did a bunch of shorts at like gas stations and stuff like that. That did real well.
Excellent.
Yeah. So yeah, it was. He's a cool guy. Him and his buddy, real cool. So.
Mr. Romatic, when are you going to do Ducky's Impala engine build? Please. When
Ducky comes out of space.
Someday. You know, it's just, that's the way it rolls in this business. It's like not everything works out the way it's supposed to. And some people are flaky. It's just a reality that we got to deal with in this world. Some people are just flaky.
Mm-hmm.
And Paul says there are no letters on the deck lid of his.
Oh, okay.
Shannon is still trying to catch up on sleep. Should have a video out Friday night. There you go. So if you want to see an adventure, cannonball, and all the way down to Tennessee from the north, Maine. That's super north, is what that is.
Yeah, that's like just Canada. So
yeah, that's crazy. All the way to Tennessee and then back. There you go. Check out Shannon's channel on Friday night. He's up against some good competition on Friday night for Bob Bump. He says it's been a minute. Well, welcome back, Bob. And it is great to have you here. Dave Bowen, how are you doing, Dave? Dave, I am doing freaking amazing. Okay, like really amazing. Well, I mean, no, I'm doing okay. I'm doing average. I'm getting by. I put on a good face. I put on a good act. Okay, you know, deep inside, I'm wilting. You know what I'm saying? But yes.
On the outside, everything's roses and.
Yeah, there's nothing left inside.
Yeah,
I'm a hollowed out hulk of a. I'm like a tooth with a cavity that just ate out the whole center of it. That's me. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Tony Dennis selling scribbles to Barracuda. Yes, I sold it to that guy. And
I did stuff with it. I sold it to some other guy.
Yeah. I'm getting rid of one of my bikes. Actually, I'm going to shoot a video on it tomorrow before I let it go there. Yes, Joker is correct. Scribbles became Smog and then left again.
Yeah, it's around somewhere.
It was just a name change. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Thunderbird's asking how Kathy is doing. After the tragedy. So Sunday night, it was about a half hour to go. I hear some barking, and I hear like crashing, and I hear screaming. Like, oh, That's not good. That's never good. So what happened was one of the puppy knocked over a glass, and Kathy had been having problems with her knee. She wasn't able to walk. She was actually in a lot of pain. So I had to cut the live abruptly and go in there and take care of the broken glass and the puppies and everything else. So yes, everybody's good though. Everybody's very good. Here's a good one. Mason Earl Hayden. Hi, Mason. I have a mildly stock 352 Ford and a 65 F350. Any recommendations on a good car for street use? Holly, Edelbrock, Q-Jet. Edelbrock or Q-Jet. Yeah, I'm not a Holly fan for drivers. Hollies have become too troublesome in my mind. Best carburetor for that, I think Dr. Art will agree with me, right? The Summit 750.
Yep.
The Summit 750.
Just some carb. The old Motorcraft knockoff. That's for a driver. That's the best carburetor you can get.
Yep. It's the old Ford 4100, which is what would have been on that engine, okay, in 1965, and it was so Holly bought it from Autolite or Motorcraft. Which was it, Autolite or Motorcraft? Autolite. Yeah. Holly bought the design and marketed it for a couple of years, and then they stopped. And then Summit picked up that design, and Summit currently offers that carburetor, and it's cheaper than all the others. It's cheaper than Edelbrock. It's way cheaper than a Holly, and it's the upgraded version. It's got Holly accelerator pumps, but it still has the and a couple of the Holly tidbits. But it's true to the 4100 design, which was a really, really good carburetor. That's the one that I would go for.
And it holds lots of fuel. It holds lots of fuel because those
fuel. Yep.
F350s, they tendency to get hot and boil and stuff like that. So you got enough in there that it won't vapor lock on you. So
let's see. Midwest Mikey is in the house. What's happening? Nathan McCree is in the house. Rocco, Tony, I was speaking with someone today who's involved in the manned mission to Mars. Good luck with that. The subject of Tang came up. Fly high, brother. Yeah, that's good luck with that.
If we see Scoop tonight, I have to apologize to Scoop because he popped in late on my Monday night show when I was trying to put someone else in timeout, but then the comments flipped and I clicked it and I put Scoop in timeout. So didn't mean to do that.
Thunderbird 68, Tony, video idea. Swapping a spark box back to points. 77 F250, I'd like to revert to points. The Dura Spark that's in there is actually a pretty damn good ignition. I got to tell you. I like the Dura Spark, the first generation, those. But there's nothing to it, bro. Literally, put a ballast resistor on the coil because that Dura Spark doesn't have a resistor wire. Add a ballast resistor to the coil and drop a set of points. Drop a point distributor, and there's really nothing to it.
It'll run. Yeah.
Mr. Romatic, do you still keep in touch with the Daddy's Money Garage guys? I haven't heard from them in forever, probably 2 years. Dr. Art, have you heard from anything from?
No, because Austin had his mother passed, and then shortly after that he got married, and he's having just life, So. Yeah,
the last time I talked to him, I didn't make it to his mom's funeral, but I called him, and that was the last time I talked to him. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Midwest Mikey. I've seen a lot of builds nowadays with turbos not running an intercooler. My brain is saying that can't be street friendly, but it's becoming popular. Intercoolers didn't become a thing until like the mid 80s. So you had a bunch of different turbocharged cars previous to that. You had the Corvairs, you had the old Jetfires, you had a bunch of different generations of Buick V6s beginning in like 1978 that none of them had intercoolers. Intercoolers became a thing with the Grand National in '86, and then the T-type. But maybe the Grand National and the T-type at the same time in 86 and 87. That was an innovation. That was a big deal. So really, any factory turbo cars before then didn't have an intercooler. Can you think of any, Dr. Art?
No, I mean, maybe a weird import or something like that, but the domestic stuff, no, there was no intercoolers until. And a lot of people, just because they just want to go out and burn tires and have fun, they just put the turbo right into the carb hat and, forget the work,
I could be wrong, but wasn't the Turbo Carrera the first one to be intercooled factory car?
Could be. I'm thinking, along the Conquest TSI days and something along somewhere in that era that's when they put intercoolers in them. Somebody
out there knows what is the first intercooled production car.
Yes. Somebody Google it. We don't have time.
Yeah. Metzler Classics. How's the 3.6 Pentastar treating you these days? I'm telling you, I'm nothing but happy with the whole freaking van and everything. I hate the crazy over the top electronics, but the way I see it is just for the purpose that I'm using this thing for. It's what are you gonna do? When it takes a dump, it takes a dump, and I'll walk away from it. But the 3.6 itself, it's a pretty freaking amazing engine. I don't want to like it as much as I do. Trust me, I want to hate it, but it's pretty stout. It gets the van's got to weigh 4,500 pounds. It's a heavy freaking thing. It gets 23 miles in a gallon. Just steady, set the cruise for 70 miles an hour and just head down the interstate for 10 miles. It's averaging 23 miles in a gallon on the highway. It gets 20 around town, and it pulls like a 15-second car. And this is they run 15-second ETs. It's got a 6-speed transmission. I know the rear-wheel drive, they use 8 speeds. The minivans, it's a 6-speed. But I'm really amazed by it.
Get in and drive, yeah.
Let's see. Scott Zer. I have a 650 Edelbrock Performer on a built 350 with a ton of miles on it, and it doesn't owe me a dime. Is it worth rebuilding or going not playing games? It's definitely had a lot of miles. What goes wrong with it that you need to rebuild it?
Yeah, just clean it and throw it back on. Yeah.
Is it not pissing fuel? Overflowing itself, or if it's not doing that, and you get an accelerator pump when you hit the gas, and you can get a mixture, a change when you hit the mixture screws, there's nothing to rebuild. Leave it alone. The big difference between Edelbrocks and Holleys is that if you just leave an Edelbrock alone, they'll literally last indefinitely, especially if it's in regular use. They'll never go bad. Holleys, you let it sit for 6 months. Sneeze the wrong way, you know what I mean?
Like it just leaks.
It's just pissing everything from everywhere. I have at this point in my life, I have officially sworn off Holley carburetors on anything that gets driven on the street. Race car, track car, yes, fine, right? You do it. It's the better choice. But on a street car, you're gonna drive it. Start it up, run it in traffic, all that other shit, and no more Holleys. Ever. I'm committed to the Edelbrock-style carburetor. Let's see. Steve Max, how is he doing? I haven't heard from Steve. I haven't really seen any of his videos. I know he's making them.
Yeah, yes. His thumbnail popped up today. He was looking at like a Boss 302 in a junkyard.
I'm a little out of the loop. Midwest Mikey is saying, I didn't know that. This 383 Duster might be getting twin turbos. The only thing that was stopping was intercooler pipes. I need a reason to drop the 512 in anyway. Yeah, the intercooler is not necessary, but it's helpful. It's good.
And if you're doing a blow-through carb, you could probably get away without really using it if you're not like going for like a mile run at full throttle. You'd be okay.
Well, now you got to realize something too. If you got to, so the if you go back to the 1970s when turbochargers were first starting to become popular, they weren't doing blow-through setups. They were doing draw-through setups. Now, if you stop and you think about it, if you've got a draw-through carburetor, or you're dropping the inlet temperature under the carburetor 50 degrees, whatever it is, you've got a severe chilling effect. So by building your turbo car draw-through instead of blow-through, you're intercooling right off the bat. You're creating an intercooler effect. Rocky Meyer, do the collies have any traction issues off the line? No, but what I found was that there's a certain stance that I've been trying to recreate, and it's not easy. But my Winnie, who's a big girl, she's a big girl, okay? She ran 29 miles an hour, and which was a mile and a half faster than she's ever gone before. And it was a fluke run because I was holding her back, you know, like you get down on your knees behind the dog and you hold them back from running, you know, on the fast cat. And when it's time to go, you let go of them and they go, right? Well, I was holding her like this, and she brought her back legs all the way up and squatted like as if she was going to take a poop. And I thought she was going to poop on my leg, okay? And I'm like, don't do that here now. You know, this is not the time, right? But no, she was actually getting into some kind of weird launch position. And when I let go of her, she shot out off of her back legs like a rocket and ran 29.2905 miles an hour, which was rocket fast for a border collie. But it was the only one that she's ever done. And I've tried to duplicate that, and it just won't happen again. She doesn't want to cooperate and do that. But it was this one time she backed up. If you ever see me lining up my dog and she looks like she's going to take a dump on me, that's going to be a solid run. That's what I learned. Let's see. Do you see anything, Dr. Art?
Thunderbird 68, he's asking if Durspark boxes are rebuildable. No.
Well, Dr. Art would know that, and he can answer that. But do the Durspark boxes ever go bad? I don't.
The only time you have trouble with the Durspark box is when you get the Chinese made one. You know, you're better off to go to a junkyard and find one that's still in the car because that one's still good, and and have a spare that way. But something's really got to go wrong for that box to go bad.
Crazy speed for a public park. Well, it's a cordoned off area that they're running. So they're not just running willy-nilly through a park. It's actually they're chained in there, or fenced in, I should say. Now my Molly, just as her normal runs, she's got 28.85 miles an hour, and she is currently number 5 of all the border collies on the planet that run fast cat. So however many hundreds of dogs that is, she's currently number 5. So that's my Molly Jane. And I wish I could take credit. I wish there was something like I say, yeah, I trained her to do this, or I feed her just that, or I do this thing to her and she runs. I wish I could take some kind of credit for it, but I can't. She's just naturally fast and beautiful. Let's see. Mopar Man 78 is saying for people looking to buy an Edelbrock carb, the factory ones with manual choke are set for performance, while the ones in the factory with electric choke are set for economy. Yes, I think I covered that in a video recently. Mexican specs talking about a house. He might want to know a house is a lot of upkeep that he might.
They're talking about Steve's house.
Oh, I hate houses. I hate a house. I hate it. I can't begin to tell you. I wish I could live in an apartment someplace, but I can't because all of the dogs and all the cars and all the motorcycles and all of the chaos. I couldn't. I hate living in my house. I hate my house. I hate any house. I don't like houses. Rocky Mars, read the tech articles in Collie Action magazine. Pork covers all sharpen the dog's nails for better traction at the hit. No, they got short nails. I have some pictures. Hang on, let me get Kathy Bananas in here. I got to show you. Yeah, you take over here for a second, Dr. Art. I want to show them some action pictures of my my puppies. All right.
Yeah, they want to know why you hate houses. Well, I mean, because you have to work on houses. That's my least favorite thing in the world to do.
It's a burden. A house is a freaking burden.
Mm-hmm. It's because if you have a big house, you just get more crap packed in it. Yep. If you have a small house and live in a duffel bag, that's like the ultimate life.
She's not answering. She's not talking to me anymore. Cat? Oh, you are talking to me. Now, baby, come here. I want to show the action pictures of the puppies. From the Fast Cat. You have the pictures. Bring in the pictures and we'll show them. Don't you have them on your phone? Oh, jeez.
No, I don't have Facebook on my phone.
I'm gonna hang up. I'm gonna hang up on you.
What?
I'm gonna hang up.
I don't have Facebook on my phone.
What do you have Facebook on your phone?
I took it off.
Oh, jeez, why are you gonna do this? How am I gonna brag on my dogs? She'll figure it out.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah.
It's like a cancer. You know that, right? You don't have pictures on your phone.
No.
So why do I have to have them?
Because that's your job.
No, it's not my job.
Tony, would you like a garage with living space? Yes. But I need. Well, the subject of houses came up, and I was explaining how much I hate houses. They're a burden. They're a financial burden. They're a labor burden. They're a time thing. They got it in your head. Oh, the roof. I got to do the roof thing. I got a fence problem. Oh, I got this. I got termites. No, I don't want to deal with any of that shit. Let's see. And then Fubar just put up. Oh, guys, wait till you see the new shirt. Oh,
Is it out? Is it out?
No, it's not out. But it's at the artist now, or at the she's the artist. It's at the printer now.
Oh, nice.
I'll have a sample back soon. Yes.
So it'll be on the website any day now.
Yes. So Fubar just put up the link to all of our existing merch. So our hats, our shirts, and here she is now. Kat, what merch do we have in the store?
The old merch.
All the old merch is in the, come over here. So there you go. Which merch is in the store?
Sketchy shirts, UTG shirts, hats. And I think you can get the monk shirt, but I have to print that.
Okay. Well, there you go. Right from the horse's mouth.
All right. So.
And she's not even drunk.
I should be, right?
Yeah. No. Okay.
Okay. So here. This is the last. Well, which Fast Cat do you want?
The latest pictures you showed me.
Oh, I only have 2 of them up here.
That's it? You were showing me 800 freaking pictures. All right, fine. Okay, never mind then.
No, here, I have these from that. These are the 2 best ones from here. Those are the best ones.
All right. So that's Molly Jane in the middle. So look, she's in midair. Look at that.
She's floating, defying gravity.
Yes, that's what a 28.85 mile an hour border collie looks like in action. And there we go. There we go. Okay, and that's my Winnie. And I don't know if that's her 29 mile an hour run.
No.
But she's
also off the ground.
Yeah, she's also flying off the ground. Look at the dirt she's kicking up. So yeah, that's what a 27.5 mile an hour border collie looks like. And she's a big girl. That's not a little fluff there. That's she's got some mass to her. So yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. You good? You
Yes.
done? Okay.
All right, I'm scrolling back up here.
Yeah, Miromatic said he got a Malinois puppy, and I'm like,
I see that.
Well, yeah, good luck to you, sir. Buy welding gloves. Yeah, welding gloves are your friends with a Malinois puppy. Yeah.
I'll try a border collie puppy.
Yeah.
Amelia is she's like right there in the crazy teething stage right now. I have holes all over my body from this dog.
Oh, yeah, and the Malinois, they do that for fun. Tunk, 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 tunk. You know, they start giggling when they bite you. So yeah, welding gloves.
If I moved to Mexico, I would live like a king. Kind of already do. Thunderbird is asking, okay, so next question, will a DuraSpark box withstand an EMP strike?
It should. There's no battery in it. Unless it fries the transistors, but it's in a metal box, and the metal box is suspended with all that epoxy goo.
Right.
So yeah, the chances are pretty good it would. I mean, if you're right underneath the thing when the missile blows up over your house, no. But if you're, in like an impact area, you might be okay. They have their own
points just in case.
Yeah. Or keep another box in a Faraday cage in the glove box, and you'll be okay. If it's that much of a concern.
He's a Maligator.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that.
Maybe get stitches twice. Yeah, twice in 3 months. My daughter had one of them evil little dogs. They're cute as shit, and they'll do anything, but they just love to just eat your flesh.
Sweaty fat guy who knows everything. He actually does.
That's true. He's
a quiet genius. He sweats knowledge, right? An EMP will ruin the DuraSpark. An EMP works the same way as an alternator on a huge scale, inductive charge in every wire, frying every complete circuit. Okay. Well, that's that. Olive is in the house. What's happening, Olive?
Olive's here.
Thunderstruck. Any work on the nitro car recently? I just fitted a couple of bolts to it. I'm waiting for. We've got the clutch, but I can't actually assemble the clutch together until I get an input shaft. And then once we have the input shaft, we can put the clutch together, put the can on it. We have to go steal an accelerator, pedal, and bracket off of the funny car, and then and cable, and transfer all of that to the dragster. And I'm still waiting for the cylinder heads to come back from Shacklets after like 4 months. So it's creeping along. Pick one, Dr. Art.
Mark Sauvé says he bought a 40-foot shipping container late last fall, and I wonder what it would take to turn that into a Faraday cage to protect all his precious electronics.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
All right. Sweaty fat guy. And boom, there's the answer. Faraday cages are easy to build, doesn't take much. Old refrigerators and deep freezers will do the job. The steel on my shop might work, don't know yet. But it's like specifically, if somebody wanted to turn a 40-foot shipping container into a Faraday cage, how would they go about doing that specifically? I'm curious now. I'd like to know that myself. Let's see. Mike Bulker. Tony, was the Slant 6 Torque Storm deal you put together in any magazines? No, it was after the print magazines had pretty much all gone, off. But we did cover it. I did cover it in an online version of Cars Illustrated magazine, which was my magazine from the 1980s, that somebody bought and revived, and I was contributing to it for a short period of time until I realized it was like way not what it was supposed to be. So yes, there was some coverage of it online in that. Go to carsillustrated.com, I guess it is, I don't know, and see if there's any articles still up there from when I got mad at them. I got really mad at them. I was like, well, yeah, it was bad, right? They triggered me. Okay, they triggered me. So, but anyway, yeah, that was the Slant 6 thing. Let's see.
It's the the EMP talk group right now.
Sorry, that guy says, and the EMP will bounce off the molten core of the Earth, so you need to shield the bottom of a container. Well, that's always good to know.
Yeah, that's a hell of an EMP if you could travel through to the core and bounce back up. That's a lot of energy.
That's more energy than I want to deal with.
Yeah.
What happened to 72 TX340? What happened to Kiwi? Is he okay? Hey, I'm sure he's doing great. I think the hormone shots are. I don't know if he actually had any of the surgeries yet, but I think the hormone shots are probably doing their thing. And yeah, I wish him luck. He needs to be his true self. Him, her, it, they, them, whatever pronouns he's using. Zero is in the house. Zero is in the house. I'm just always excited when Zero pops in.
Yeah, it's a complete evening.
Serena Elite, have either of you met Ken Vini? I have not. I watched a very recent interview with him. What an interesting guy, much respect. Very interesting guy, very brilliant guy. Yes.
Did you talk about the calendar?
Yes, I was bragging on the Cold War Motors 2026 calendar that nobody else can get. I've got the very last one, and he actually robbed this from one of his paying customers to send it to me. It shows you how dedicated a friend he is.
He said, glad it arrived okay.
What?
Glad it arrived okay?
Yes.
Does Tuesday or Wednesday of next week work?
Tuesday.
Or Sunday, whatever is easiest for you.
Yeah, you know what? Tell them come on, so we'll do Sunday together.
Sunday?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll do Sunday.
Same time?
Yes.
Sunday, you said.
Yes. Oh, there he is right now.
Okay, well there you go.
There you go. Yeah, let's just do Sunday Night Live together, man. Wait, is Kiwi seriously going transgender? Well, we don't like to call it that. Or is that just a joke? Please tell me if I'm autistic. So am I. We don't like to call it that. Listen, you want to judge? So I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to judge.
Great, the one coming up or the one after? Wait, what's this?
Sunday. Yeah.
This Sunday?
This Sunday. If it's good for him, Sunday. Thunderbird 68 just literally drove past the Cold War Motors headquarters. Hey, he's a stalker. He's everywhere. He's driving past your house. He's here on the live. Rocco, new UTG shirt. Please tell me I'm autistic.
What?
Please tell me, comma. It should be a comma in there. I'm autistic.
Yeah.
Okay, he says that's fine. Looking forward to it.
Josh Holman is saying they had a disagreement over a video. You're talking about Kiwi? No, it wasn't a disagreement at all. He was wrong in every way you could possibly be wrong. It wasn't a disagreement.
I know people like that.
Huh?
I know people.
You know people like that? Let's see.
Okay, I think he's done talking to me now.
Who is?
Scott, I think he's probably going to talk to you.
Well, he's here talking to me now.
Yeah, okay. Well, you're the important one.
No, Dr. Art's the important one. We're just holding this together for Dr. Art.
This is just, it's very shoestring. And, yeah.
Are you using the microphone?
Yeah, it's right here.
No, you gotta wear it.
They can hear me. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear him just fine.
But you're clearer with the mic if you're wearing it.
Yes. And Zero, the mod of the future, put up the link to Scott's channel, Cold War Motors. Go over there and sub to that channel. And while you're at it, Dr. Art too, go sub to his channel.
So you done with me now?
No, I'm never really done with you. You look good. You look good in the back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting here.
I'd be styling with you.
Styling?
Yeah, sitting there in the back, definitely.
I have a nice chair. I'm
You-
enjoying my chair.
I bought you that chair.
You didn't buy it for me.
I didn't buy it for you. I bought you everything.
I bought it for me. I bought it for me.
Using whose money?
My money.
Oh, all right, never mind.
What?
And there's Fubar put up the link to Dr. Art's channel.
All right, I'm leaving.
Really?
Yeah.
Bye.
You can't sit in my chair. Bye.
Power Wigan, how did a guy like you get her? Please. I know the secrets, man. I know how they work. I know how they work.
It was a long time ago.
I raised her up from a pup. I got her when she was 15. Rocco was saying, don't piss her off. We haven't seen her in months. Didn't I work for Caltech's father? No, I leased a gas station from him, or I leased a service base in a gas station from him. So he sold gas and he leased me the bays. And that was there was a lot of gunplay involved in it. It was crazy times. That was yeah. Kat, they like seeing you, Kat. They like seeing you. Yes.
They all want her back on Sundays feeding you comments.
They want her back on.
What?
Sunday night.
Back on Sunday.
Feed you comments.
No. No.
She's done with
I
that.
think I'm done with that.
Scott has a question, and I feel honored to give an attempt to answer it. Building a 283 for my Impala. The engine cam bearings were wiped out on the one I'm starting with. Ooh. Should I be worried, or will new cam bearings sort it out? I worry about that. So how cam bearings are one of those things, man. How were they wiped out specifically? What was the damage on them, and which ones were damaged? You got to understand something about cam bearings, right? Okay, on a small block Chevy, on all your conventional American V8s, like they say, big block Mopar, small block Mopar, Chevy, small block and big block, non-FE Fords. Well, actually, yeah, FE Fords. The cam bearing, okay, is the least stressed and overly lubricated part of the entire engine. So when you get cam bearing damage without other aspects of the engine, main bearing or rod bearing damage, it means there is something very wrong. Very wrong. Okay, so all of them were wiped. The Babbitt seemed to be pushed to one side of the bearing.
Wonder if we lost pressure up there somehow.
Okay, so if all of them were wiped, that's a good sign. Like if it was one or two, I would be very, very concerned. But if all of them are bad, that's a good sign. It means that the engine operated for an extended period of time, like many, many, many miles with less oil pressure than would have been ideal, or just enough oil pressure to keep the rods from slamming around, which is a good sign. And he's saying it looks like an amateur redo at some point. Well, that could have been it too. The bearings might not have been clearanced correctly.
Or they weren't lined up with the oil hole, or they starved, or who knows? Yeah.
Yeah. Or the cam itself was oversized. I've had that too. It was running fine for years, as far as you know. Yeah, if it's all of them and they're all showing equal wear, yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. If it's one or two, that's a problem, because that's talking about shift within the motor, core shift in the motor. Were they all tight? Like, did you actually have to knock them out, or did they fall out? I'm scrolling back up here. All right, let's go to Bob Bump. We'll wait for Scott to come back.
Okay.
Explain why and how to lock out centrifugal advance. Is having an open leading to my rich air fuel condition. Change new 850 broiler to small Edelbrock. Can you make? Can you? Do you understand what he's saying?
I think it's because he was back in the comments. He was talking about he's having problems. Everything he tries in this motor, it's still rich, which is probably that brawler carburetor.
But he's switched to an Edelbrock and he's still got a rich condition.
Yeah, changed to a small Edelbrock. It's
so
I wouldn't worry about locking out your distributor yet before you fix this ongoing rich condition.
If you've got an engine that's just terminally rich, no matter what you do to it, you're going to different carburetors, right? So it's not even like it's like one carburetor with a weird, mysterious problem, or one type of carburetor, and you put a couple of different versions on it, and you still got the same problem. But you've actually gone from two completely different, diametrically opposed styles of carburetor, and you still have the same rich condition. I'm looking at internal engine issues. I'm looking at retarded camshaft. I'm looking at cylinder pressure. I'm looking at cylinder pressure. Have you done any compression tests on this thing? And I'll wait for Bob Bump to jump back in there. 72 TX340. Is Dr. Art a real doctor? Is he helping Kiwi with his your deal? Yes. No judgments. No. Yes. He's been a consultant.
Keep me out of you two. That's fine. You both need specialists, and you know it.
Nobody talks to me. So no, for the record, Dr. Art has not helped Kiwi along with on his journey to self-discovery. Scott there. Okay. I had to hammer them out. Good. That's a good sign. I also throw oil holes, but there was a groove around the journal, so you can't put them in wrong. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Sorry for understanding a lot is going on in this comment. Which comment? Sorry about it. Rich comes from carb, not from advance. Yes, but an engine with very low cylinder pressure or very retarded timing. So very retarded timing will give you a rich condition. Okay. Or will make it run rich, but not really enough to say, oh, it's just chugging along. But low cylinder pressure will. And let's say the engine's in good shape. So rings are good, valves are sealing, all of that's good. Then I would be looking at the camshaft, and I'd be looking at the phasing of the camshaft. And that sounds like it might be a retarded cam. Because no matter what he's doing, he's going, he's going from a power valve style carburetor to one that doesn't have power valve. So you can't even say, well, it's got the wrong size power valve or anything like that. And Edelbrock, regardless of how screwed up, how off you are with the metering rods and the step-up springs, still won't give you a pig fat condition. So I'm thinking cylinder pressure.
He said, he Bob piped in, but you can get off this subject. Come on, that's enough.
Which? Okay, there he is. Bob. New build, pro bore, ring gap, set at 36 degrees per your bids. All right, I got to ask you again. Have you checked cylinder pressure on it? Give it a simple, basic compression test, and let me know what you see. Because what you're describing is something that's beyond the range of a simple carburetor problem, or beyond the range of a simple ignition problem. You're saying this engine is just pig rich, right? Like enough for you to be swapping carburetors. That's telling me you've got something deeper going on there. So for the fresh build with good rings, new rings, and everything's right, that's all sealing. And okay, you got it 36 degrees total timing. That's all good. That means there's something else going on there. Check the cylinder pressure. Check the compression. Give it a compression test.
Yeah, see, and verify your cam is where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I'm going to say your cam is probably ground. I took a comp cam right out of the box, right? Stuck it in a slant 6. It was 11. It was ground. It was indexed 11 degrees retarded. It happens right from the factory. That's why you got to check everything. You can't just stick things together like that. You got to check everything. Brand new cam, ground 11 degrees retarded. That's extreme. I've had them ground 4 degrees retarded where they shouldn't have been, 5 degrees, 6 degrees advanced where it shouldn't have been. But that was an example of one that would give you exactly that. Stick that cam in your engine, that's gonna be pig rich. To get the engine to run, you're gonna have to go so far into the throttle. You're gonna have to open the throttle so much, you're gonna be pulling through the boosters when it shouldn't be pulling through the boosters.
He said, Bob Bum says, yeah, crap, it's a comp cam. Well, there's your first problem. Yeah, no, don't trust anything from them.
Dr. Art doesn't want me to answer any of these questions, so I won't. Let's see. Mr. Romantic, Tony, you still having problems with new flat top of cams going better than a brake? I haven't put one in a long time. It's been a couple of years since I bought a flat top.
The last 3 I put in the last couple of years, no problems at all. And I buy the cheapest white box Summit cams that there are, and they work beautifully. You just lube it up and use the right oil, and don't pre-fill your lifters.
The last cam I got from Comp was a flat topper for a 426 Heavy, and when I went to put it in the engine to mock it up, make sure everything was good, it went in 3 journals and then it stopped, and I couldn't get it any further. It was not moving. Okay, and it drove me out of my mind. And then finally, I took a cam from a 383 and I stuck it in there, and the cam from the 383 just spun perfect. It was good. So then I measured the cam from the Heavy, and they sent me a brand new cam, ground to spec, with a custom ground cam, right? That the number 4 and number 5 cam journals were 0.02 of an inch oversized. So you got to check every friggin' thing, everything.
Thunderstrucker 666 on the bottom.
Every time I talk against comp cams, this dude that runs Muscle Car Solutions channel acts like I insulted his mom's potato salad. He's probably getting parts from them. He's probably getting Edelbrock carburetors or
that's why he's hurt. Yeah, he's on the Holly drip.
Yeah. Oh, he's on the what?
The Holly drip. He's getting the parts and things like that, and he's drinking the Holly Kool-Aid and everything else. Yeah.
Well, no, comp is the same as Edelbrock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Same thing then. Yeah, whatever it's. Yeah, we'll send you free cams.
Right. And they do that. They do that. There's like literally, if you do this work and you have like, I don't know, like 5,000 subs or in that range, they'll send you any freaking thing they want, and anything you ask for. And of course, you're going to say nothing but good stuff about them. And so if you're on the regular gravy train and you're making money off the content that they're sending you bits for, you're always going to defend them, which is why I don't take anything from anybody. The cam that I got, the Slant 6 cam that was ground retarded, the 426 Hemi cam, I paid cash for those cams, and I paid retail prices.
See, I'm not like you. I'll take free products.
He'll take free products.
I got a real nice radiator for the El Camino, so I can't complain.
But did it come from Comp?
No, it came from our Chinese friends at Alloy Works. But it's a big, brand new 4-core with dual spall fans, and nice. Same radiator people that was in Big Richard, so that one worked well. So.
Mr. Romantic is saying, Tony, the Daddy's Money Garage guys, Austin built a 54 power 70 Nova. I saw that for his little brother, and the Comp rocker stud thing messed up the valve and almost screwed up the whole engine. Don't buy Comp. Yeah, the quality control is just forget it.
Mm.
But I don't care who I piss off. I like pissing people off. When it's deserved. I mean, I'm just like, I like pissing people off for the sake of it. You know what I mean? But I don't hold back. Let's see. My muscle saying, I'm about to try out a solid roller from Cam Motion. It's ground under low lash lobes and supposedly street friendly. Bridges a gap between hydraulic and aggressive solid rollers.
If it's a roller, yeah, you won't have any problems unless it's ground wrong. But you're not going to have braking problems.
Yeah, on a roller cam, it's the lifters that are going to give it a problem. If you're going to have any problem at all, it's going to be the little pin bearings in there, the needle bearings, the needle bearings. And depending on what kind of engine you're working with, like for instance, the Chevys, or jam, and a very shallow lifter. All right, so in other words, like the shallow lifter, the roller is tucked up into the body. And so if you go with a cam that's got a little too much aggression on the lobe, there's possibility that the body hits the lobe. So that's one thing you got. That's one consideration you got to get into with rollers. But Midway Muscle is saying cam motion has been around since the 70s. They design their own lobes. To a lot of companies use other companies' designs. There's a lot to lobe science, and I'm not a cam specialist. Like I couldn't just design my own cam. I could spec one, ballpark, but there's a lot to the actual profile of the lobe that goes beyond lift duration and lobe separation angle. There's actually the curve of the lobe and how it jacks the valve off the seat and how it sets it back down. You could have 10 different cams with the same spec, but different lobe profiles, and it'll all give you a different result. And that's why you want to talk with a cam specialist, somebody who lives camshafts, to pick the right cam for your engine, and not just say, oh, well, my buddy has such and such a grind, and it's this much lift and this much duration on this much center line. I'll get the same thing. But you buy the same cam with the same specs from a different manufacturer, and it may not be indexed the same way. It may be ground retarded or advanced, either by accident or by design. And the lobe could be a completely different profile. So you're going to get different results. Tony,
yeah, I was looking at that also. Yeah.
Do you think carb spacers for street driving can be made of plastic? Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can make them out of wood, which is something.
Plastic, yeah, keeps the heat away from the car better than the aluminum ones do, and it's probably flatter.
Yeah, I did that video about a month ago on carb spacers, and I neglected to say, people corrected me in the comments. I neglected to say that you can make them out of wood very successfully.
Yeah.
If you can't find, I mean, you got to be handy working with wood, right? But you can make them out of wood or have them made for you out of wood. And anybody who has a woodworking shop can blow something like that out in 2 minutes. So if you're looking for a special size, a depth, that it's an option. Mr. Amatic, yeah, the camshaft is basically the analog computer brain of the engine. Well, different engines, different port configurations, different flow characteristics to those ports, and different stages of modification of those ports would all ask for a specific profile, not just necessarily the advertised numbers. So yeah, and that's why I say when you're going to order a cam, don't just spec it off the top of your head. Get into a deep conversation with the cam grinder because they know these things.
And then you can also have a carb spacer made out of mozzarella.
Well, I mean, you could make it out of mozzarella, but you gotta operate the engine in cold climates.
Yeah, up north. Yeah, all our Canadian friends should have mozzarella.
Canadian friends, yeah, and up in the Arctic, down in yeah, no problem. Mozzarella is always a viable material. Torino Elite, sorry, but putting something made out of wood on an engine just seems wrong to me. Dude, it's a spacer. It's a spacer.
Yeah.
Do you use gaskets? What are gaskets made out of? Paper. What's paper made out of? Wood. So, I mean, yeah, you're doing it anyway. Gabriel DeMarco. How would I know the best total timing without the use of a dyno? Mile an hour at the drag strip. Go by the mile an hour. And if you don't have a drag strip, use a draggy, which is a dyno. And you're using the car as a dyno, really is what it comes down to. Midwest Mikey, thank you for the super chat. I forgot last time, the cam that my guy sent me with the LS firing order for my 383 sounds interesting. 2 identical engines with the same header, or maybe it's a placebo effect. Let me read that one more time. I forgot last time, the cam that my guy sent me with the LS firing order for my 383 sounds interesting. 2 identical engines with the same header. Oh, I gotcha. So in other words, I don't know. Doctor, what do you have to say about that?
It sounds legit. I mean, if you're going to change that 4.7 and it's going to, you got headers and the collectors, they're going to come out of the collectors scavenging more uniform, which was kind of the reason they did that 4.7 and, LS firing order to get the better, more even pulse, out of the collector. Yeah, they're going to sound different than a standard one.
Josh Holman says mozzarella is good for pizza and lasagna. It is completely useless on an engine. Dude, I mean, are you an expert? Have you employed cheese?
Are you a cheesemonger and know everything about cheese?
I mean, I want to know about your firsthand failures of using cheese in the course of setting up an engine or tuning an engine. Let me hear about your failures, okay?
Yes, document your work, please.
Paul is saying that Edelbrock and Morosa make wood fiber carbon spacers. Yep.
Yeah. Right above that.
This one?
Yeah. Pressed asbestos.
Pressed asbestos spacer would have all the advantages of wood, but not be wood, and fireproof too. I don't know. I don't know about the whole asbestos fear thing. I mean, when I was a kid growing up, right, everything was made out of asbestos. Everything was made out of asbestos. The shingles on your freaking house were made out of asbestos. Brakes were made out of asbestos. Clutches were made out of asbestos. Like insulation for ovens and stuff like that was all made out of asbestos. Asbestos was everywhere all the time. When we would work on cars, right? You do a brake job, you do a clutch job, you come home covered in asbestos. Every mechanic came home covered in asbestos. I don't know, I'm fine. Anybody who was turning wrenches back then, we ate asbestos sandwiches. It was like you had a meatball and asbestos sandwich. We were fine. So I don't know where all of the crazy fear came from with asbestos. Yes, Firefly, asbestos is the bestest.
Mm-hmm. That's big government lying to you again.
Zero saying, I mean, I get it. You pop the hood open. You pop open the hood, and the first thing you notice is the wood carb spacer. Dude, what's that, bro? Yeah, I guess for the uninitiated.
Your buddy Andy Wood on his racing pickup truck, he has wood spacers underneath both those carbs.
His Dominators, yeah.
Yeah.
Barry Kuda's favorite cereal is asbestos space. Yes, asbestos loops. Mm-hmm. Fun with Cars is saying you had to build up your tolerance to asbestos to make you strong. I'm telling you, they get the asbestos abatement crews that go in. Please. Siderunners is saying it's no joke. But tell me how civilization didn't come to an end when literally asbestos was everywhere all the time. Tell me how everybody didn't drop dead of freaking cancer 100 years ago or 50 years ago. Rope is saying, I was an HVAC contractor. I was probably breathing a 5-gallon bucket of it. No, I know. I'm telling you. I remember when as a kid, covered, especially do like a clutch job, covered with asbestos. Buddy Carfano used hard provolone for spacers. See? Mutz might be a little hard with that. A little difficult, I should say. But yeah, why not? Hard provolone is perfect. John Bossoms, is there any downside to using a stock cast intake manifold versus an aftermarket aluminum manifold for street driving? You're going to get a little more vaporization. You're going to get a little more vaporization out of the cast iron intake manifold. So you're going to give up a couple of horsepower. But what you give up in overall power, you're going to pick up in efficiency. So you may give up 10 horsepower and you may pick up 2 miles to the gallon, a mile per gallon. The difference is going to be slight. That's assuming the manifolds are apples to apples. So same volume plenum, same length runner, same diameter runner, apples to apples. A little bit more horsepower with the aluminum, a little bit more efficiency with the cast iron. Let's see. Mark Sauvé is saying, so conspiracy says that asbestos was deemed bad for you around the same time the government had the tech to look in your house, but asbestos created a problem for the seeing. I mean, I don't know. That kind of actually sounds
legit. Yeah, because we need to get the asbestos out of everything immediately, all of the sudden.
Oh, yeah. Asbestos fear porn was crazy. You go back 15, 20 years ago, they would find asbestos in an old house, and then they would have to evacuate the houses on either side of it.
The house and everything else.
Put a bubble over the house and then send in the hazmat crew. And in the meantime, people lived there for like 125 years, and everybody was just fine.
It's conspiracy by big fiberglass.
Please. Al is saying asbestos is transparent to like X-rays. Okay, I don't know.
Okay.
Kevin Smith is saying, gotta have a Cold War Motors calendar. Like this one that I just got in the mail? Yes, everybody should have one, but you can't because there are no more of these. So get in line for the 2027 calendar.
Like Rocco said, but the mercury-filled fluorescent lights are fine in every shop, in every factory, in every place, in the whole world. No problem.
Jeff Face is saying they're going to find that fiberglass gives you 6 types of ass cancer and ban it in favor of gas needle so rag-based insulation for some time. Oh, the lead paint was another one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, get rid of the lead paint and all the paint falls off cars now.
That all happened. I remember this because I was probably 8, 9, 10 years old, and there was this whole big thing where kids in housing projects were eating the paint chips.
Because they were so hungry. Yeah.
This was the thing, okay? The kids were eating paint chips, and then they discovered that the kids had developmental problems, and they traced it back to the paint chips, eating the paint chips. Not saying that eating the paint chips themselves wouldn't be the sign of a developmental problem, but that's besides the point. So
not the lack of food in the house. Yeah, it's the paint chips.
Please. Yeah, as you were saying, I remember the box saying will cause cancer on the brake shoes. I remember that too.
Mm-hmm.
Wrote 1958 saying radon and mold are the big gotchas now. So when I was a kid, I grew up on Staten Island in Great Kills, okay? And a mile from my house was, 2 miles from my house was the landfill, the Staten Island landfill, okay, which was, you could see it from, there were only 2 man-made objects you could see from space, and the Staten Island landfill was one of them. I forget what the other one was. Anyway, I grew up 2 miles from there. And the area around the landfill, between like the neighborhood that I was in and the actual landfill, was cordoned off. Okay, it was like, because they found radon there, and it was like this whole, don't climb over that fence. You'll go where the radon is. Oh, we played there when I was a kid. You know, it was like going under the fence, cutting holes in fences and shit like that. So we just played to our heart's content out there. But there was this big, huge radon like freak out about this area. Well, I come to find out now that they've developed that as a park. So now they've got the radon ground, and now it's a park, and people are walking their dogs and having their kids play with balloons where this radon death thing was.
Yeah. Meanwhile, all those people lost their houses for $1. And
Yeah.
Yep.
Mold is a problem. Mold is a big deal. That I know. That causes all sorts of problems that are like crazy neurological things. New comments. Let's see. Radon is naturally occurring. Well, so are piranhas. You know, you don't really want to.
So is lava, but that's not good for you.
Right. KJ Kylie wants to know what Greta Thunberg had to say about lead and asbestos. How dare you ask what she would say?
Yeah, how dare you?
How dare you? Bowtie Classics. Remember when they told us not to eat butter and eggs, but told us to eat manufactured seed oils instead? Yes, I know, because it's all poison. Our food system is poison.
It's not food. I mean, if try to go into any say gas station and look around at all the racks and find something that's actually food. It's not there.
Oh, let me tell you something. This just happened recently, right? Every once in a while, Kathy goes on these things where she craves certain things. Okay, so lately it's been apples. So every time I go to the store, she's like, "Bring me back an apple." And she's like these. She likes these red delicious. Is it red? Yeah, red delicious apples. So I go and I get her apples, and I go to Publix, and I get the organic ones. Okay, so she eats half the apple and she shares the rest of it with my dogs. So as she's sitting there eating the apple, she'll take a bite of the apple and hand it to the dog. Take a bite of the apple, eat it herself. Take another bite, hand it to another dog. So you get the idea, right? They all sit around her and they all eat apples together. So I started bringing back a couple of apples from Publix. Now, this last Easter Sunday, Publix was closed and she wanted apples. So I went to Kroger and I bought 3 apples from Kroger. Same type, red delicious apples. My dogs would not touch them. They look exactly the same. My dogs would not touch them. They'll eat the ones from Publix, the organic ones from Publix, but they will not eat the ones from Kroger.
The ones from Kroger are gross. I like a red delicious apple, and they used to be this, as big as your head when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Now they're like the size of a golf ball, and they have no taste, and you bite into them and they instantly turn brown. They're just gross. I don't eat any of them anymore.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. We bought flour from Italy. What a difference! I still have a bunch of it.
Oh, I told you I got that stuff too, and it's night and day.
Night and day. You guys you won't believe how bad, like make something from scratch, like bread or anything like that from scratch using our commonly available flour, and then find some that comes from Europe. We imported it from Italy. Night and day. The completely different taste, completely different texture.
It's bread is delicious again when you
make like candy.
And my father-in-law that lives with us, he likes his store-bought bread and toast every morning. I tried one and I'm like, ugh, and then it made me sick. But my stuff, I slice off a big piece, toast it. It smells beautiful and it's tasty, and yeah.
Where do you get your flour from?
I think it's the same stuff that you or Kathy told me to buy, but it's off Amazon, but it's the non-GMO organic flour from Yonder. And you can even feel the difference in it. And when I make like the cookies and stuff, it's fat. They're just off the chain.
The only downside to it is like you make it fresh, let's say at night, and then in the morning it's kind of hard. Like the bread
I put it right in the fridge in a Ziploc bag, right in the fridge.
Yeah. Okay.
And then because I make the big loaf, I cut half of it, put that in a Ziploc bag in the freezer. The other half I Ziploc bag, put it in the fridge, and I get a little slice in the morning, and that half a loaf lasts me like a week, and yeah, it's worked perfect.
Lobe is saying, kind of makes you wonder if a cannibal from 1,000 years ago would eat one of us. You got plenty of cannibals out there right now that don't seem to have any in the government.
Right. All the people in Hollywood will eat your. All the people in Hollywood will eat your babies, no problem.
People used to say it was crazy.
Yeah, but now it's like, Pizzagate is real. They're eating children for fun. Welcome to our club.
Maybe it was Maggie saying, you guys ever do one of these while drinking? The way this conversation was going, I can only imagine it was a Friday and we're buzzed. We're just hanging out, man. We're just hanging out. That's the whole point of these things. Just,
Yeah.
Let's commune with our...
It's not serious. It's not life-changing. It's Wednesday.
Right.
Yeah.
St. Thomas Romantic is saying always shop at local farmers markets. They don't have things like flour here,
and they don't have like apple. You gotta if you go up north, they got apples and things like that, but not down here. Yeah.
Joker, I really like to hear Tony's answer. Curious about the asbestos thing. What about the 9/11 dust that killed the survivors years down the road? That was concrete dust.
That was concrete dust sprinkled with high explosives that brought down the towers.
Yeah.
Yeah. The high explosive nitrates and things like that are not good for you either.
Olive, I don't want to get too deep into this. In fact, I'm only gonna respond to this by saying there are basements. There are definitely basements and tunnel systems.
Yeah, with ping pong tables.
Yes.
You could. There's a documentary that they could all watch, and we don't ever have to say another word. It's called. Oh, what is it called? We just watched it. It's the end of something.
Fall of the Cabal.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's some of it's. I mean, I even got freaked out about a little stuff of it, but Fall of the Cabal. It's on YouTube, and you can watch it. It's a 10-part series, and it's.
Yeah, I was going to say it's like a 10-part series.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
It's actually very good. It's very good. It's very based on what I know from a lifetime of researching this stuff. It's about 98% dead on.
Yeah.
Fall of the Cabal would be a good watch for anybody who's curious about this stuff. Let's see. Nanothermite. Yes.
Yes, that stuff's bad for your lungs too. So.
Wildfly saying concrete dust contains lime, NaO. I guess that's the bad stuff in the lungs. Yeah, I knew a lot of people who were they were first responders. They were rescue, and then they were salvage. So I lived there at that time. That was my backyard. So it's like the funerals for like through my neighborhood constantly for weeks, months. So yeah, that was my backyard. I remember this very distinctly. I actually came down here with a chunk of one of the buildings. It was given to me by a fireman that was there to salvage, and he says, "Here, you want a souvenir?" And he gave me a hunk of steel that came from. Yeah. It had to be there. Joker is saying these rabbit holes are great. I had to re-listen to last week's. Zero is saying it was one of those. He's talking about the concrete dust. It was one of those things we could choose to walk off the job site for if they were sanding concrete. When I was a union iron worker, I wasn't aware of that. The joke, the thing is, chasing down rabbit holes is great until you realize that it's real. See, then it's like, oh,
that's when you get scared. You're like, holy shit! I thought this was all nonsense. No,
it
all comes from somewhere. Yeah, it all comes from somewhere.
Rocco, Tony, thoughts on radium heaters? I would not put one in my pants. Jeff face, Alex Jones wasn't right enough.
He's right about a lot. He's a nut job, but he's right about a lot.
Well, people are they're finally starting to figure it out.
Yeah.
It took a long time. It took a really long time. And there's a good portion of the population that will never accept it. It's that simple. They're so what was that phrase in the Matrix? There are some people who are so reliant on the system that they'll fight to defend it or whatever, however that is.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of that. there's going to be a lot.
They'll fight to keep their captors. Yeah.
Yes.
And CD Burlock says, oil did fall into the 70s today from 119 down to like 74.
Did it really?
Which may be good because if oil falls, the silver may go back up.
I don't really think there's a correlation between them, and I think silver is going to take another. I was saying for a while that I thought silver would hit the mid 60s, and then bounce from there. I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing another leg down. I'm thinking it's going to have to dip to 58 or 57, and I'm seeing gold back at 38, 3,900 before the next leg. The next leg is, and it's going to happen this year. The next leg is going to rip your face off to 180, 190, but there's going to be we still have a big pullback to finish. Like that whole run up was a gap up, and that gap is going to get filled. And I think we're going to see another step down, and then it's a buying opportunity. It's always just a buying opportunity. Stockholm syndrome. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Boomer is saying it'll go up because Iran is asking for crypto to pass through the strait. Interesting. I saw the crypto was up. I haven't really been paying too much attention to it lately, but I saw that Bitcoin took a step up. Ego Death Please saying time to buy. They're not done milking Iran. So the whole thing with Venezuela, with Iran, with Greenland,
Cuba.
I don't believe that any of it is actually what it's presented to be. I think there's something else going on, and these are stories that go along with it. I don't pay attention to the headlines. Don't pay attention to the news. It's not what it seems to be. I can't tell you that I know that it's something different. Just after observing and seeing everything, and the pace of change and the way things are being dripped out here and there, and there's a lot of things that are being dripped out. I think there's more to it, and these are just cover stories for an excuse for things to go in a crazy direction, right? And by crazy direction, you might want to look at the things that Tim Burchett had to say yesterday or the day before.
I mean, we've been messing with Iran since 1900 for their oil. Because before the Shah, we put in the last 4 people before the actual rulers of Iran were there. And we went in there and tried to make a deal for their oil. So we got rid of them, put in a guy, made a deal for 40% of Iran's oil until he decided that wasn't a good enough deal. So we got rid of him, put in another guy, same thing. And then work up to the Shah, then the same thing with them. And then the people of Iran got sick of the U.S. taking 40% of all their oil money. And so that's when the mullahs came in. They kicked everybody out. Now we're just kicking them back out again so we can take back 40% of the oil that they make, just like we did in the 1900s, early 1900s. And now Israel wants the money and the land too, but that's a whole nother discussion.
So it's holy war for them, but it's like I got to go into all kinds of places. I really don't want to. I really don't want to talk about it. I really don't want to go there. Okay, but the Iranians have been calling us, the United States, not just the United States, but anything that's associated with our banking system. Okay, the Great Satan. They've been calling us the Great Satan for 40, 50 years now, since the revolution. And when they say that, they're not being facetious. They're being very sincere. They believe that we actually are that, and that it's all backed up by various prophecies. Okay, so that's what they're actually fighting for, or building offensive forces to fight, is the Great Satan, which would be us, and it would be anything that's linked to the European banking infrastructure, the Rothschild family on down. So now you have to understand also that the Russians also have their own version of this that's very similar to that. There's a lot to this shit. There's a lot to this. It's all under the radar. It's all, and you'll never find any talk about it.
Yeah, they don't tell you about the shit on the news. Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't the stuff you hear about on the news.
Pandering and grandstanding. Yeah, it's all bullshit.
So that's what they're looking to wipe out the Great Satan. Ego Death Please is saying the Middle East has been decimated. Libya, shake my head, what a shame. How do you know this? How do you know this? By what source do you know this? Standing foot, it's a holy war for them, but not for the USA. You know, you're wrong. And yes, confusion is the best weapon during war, and that's what you got right now. You got a lot of there's wars and rumors of wars. Well, what Dreckface is saying is he's saying, I wouldn't blame Iran if they did the unthinkable. They know the submission to the banking system is excruciating death, as they have seen play out in every developed nation over the past century. Yes. Well, why do you think we had to get rid of Gaddafi? Why did we have to get rid of Saddam Hussein? Why did we have to? All because
it's all the same story.
The banking system. They refused to be part of that system. That's the only reason we went into these friggin' countries.
Right. When Gaddafi was there, he took a country that was 9% literate, and within a decade, it was like 80% literate, and they had infrastructure, and they were a booming economy and everything like that. And they just he was living in tents. Well, that's all bullshit.
Yeah. Look at every country that we've gone to war with over the last 40 or 50 years, and every single one of them refused to be part of the central bank system. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
All they have to say is, well, yeah, we'll trade oil in your American dollar. We're sorry. Okay, war over. Go home.
Yeah.
Do what you want with your weapons.
To say that this isn't a holy war, you don't know what you're talking about. And it's both sides. And Oliver is saying, someone told Hexet that the USA is not supposed to do crusades. Hexet has no control over what goes on right now. Trump has no control over what goes on right now. They're frontmen. They're people. They're puppets. They're just things in front of the camera speaking a script, Okay, they have no control, zero control over anything that goes on right now. It is completely out of their hands. And this is what people got to understand. That's why you stop paying attention to the news. Oh no, the thorough brutally. Oh, thorough brutal 1936. Potentially off topic. Is there any advantage to magnesium cast exhaust manifolds versus LA manifolds truck application? No, I would not use. Is there such a thing as magnesium cast exhaust manifold?
The Magnum cast manifolds.
Oh, geez. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yes, that's what I used on the Big Richard because they just look more like a header than the stock little log tube things. Yes, they are better.
Yes, absolutely.
Magnesium.
I don't know where that came from, bro. I don't know where that came from. I think because we were talking about elements before, like radon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mike DeMayo, read John Perkins' book, Confessions of an Economic Hitman. Everybody should read that book. Joker is saying, well, what's the problem with the news is that they vilify Trump over everything. No, that's not the problem with the news. And the problem is not with Trump. The problem is this generation, and when I say just generation, I mean very broad. I mean specifically millennials, this generation of people grew up watching the WWF. Okay? They grew up watching the WWF. Well, you know it's fake. Right? They made no pretense about it being fake. It's obviously fake. Okay. But everybody went and they watched and they rooted for the good guy and they hated the bad guy. And then the next week, the bad guy was the good guy and they all rooted for him. And then, okay. And what people are missing now, right? Anybody who's getting involved in oh, Trump bad, oh, Biden this, oh, this Haig said that, is not paying attention to the fact that you're watching the WWF in action right now. That's what this is. It's completely scripted. It is a show. These people are actors. They're speaking lines. I don't know what it takes to get people's head around that.
Yeah. Anyway, we have a super chat from Hank Hill.
We do have a super chat. Hank Hill, thank you for the super chat. I've been looking for a silver 67 GTX for a while now. Good luck. Do you know of any resources I can look? Any help would be appreciated. Thanks. My friend, I don't have the foggiest idea where you could find a silver 67 GTX. It wasn't a popular color, so he didn't build a lot of them, and most especially, it wasn't a long-lasting color. The silver of those years, late 60s, right, only lasted 3 or 4 years before it started fading and disappearing.
Turning into gray primer, yeah.
Because were a mess. And so most of them were repainted, in colors other than silver. Or it's just scrapped outright because they were freaking ugly. So good luck with that. Good luck with that.
And we got another super chat from Bill. Bill with $50, Bill.
Wow, Bill, why so generous? Thank you. The Treaty of Versailles happened after World War I to hold all the countries of the world back so no one would have a military to do such things again. Then World War II happened. Take rights and freedoms away from us as citizens and what might come? No, I believe that the wars, World War I and World War II, were about resetting the world system to the structure that we have right now. And if you look at the outcomes of each of those wars, I don't want to get specifically into them exactly, but if you look at the outcomes of each of those wars, the treaties and the things that were put in place immediately following them, you see the exact structure that we live in right now. Okay, so I don't believe that those wars were fought for the reasons stated. I believe that there was other things at work, and the random destruction had a lot to do with that too. There was a lot of very targeted but random destruction that happened during those wars, which goes down another rabbit hole that I'm not even going to go into right now. But I have come, whether you guys agree with me or disagree with me or love me or hate me for it, okay? I have come to the realization that literally 100% of the history that we're given is a lie. It's all a fabrication. Who, for what, where, when, and how, for what reason is all bullshit. Like, love me or hate me, this is what I have come to accept.
Everything that they taught you in high school and those books that you had to carry around and back and forth is all bullshit. Yeah.
Yep. Even the encyclopedias can all be traced back to the Carnegie libraries. The Carnegie libraries were put in place during the late 1800s and the early 1900s as like a re-education system. There's a lot to this stuff, guys. There's a lot to this stuff.
Yeah, the modern education system was meant to build factory workers. Show up, shut up, do what you're told, go home.
Hank Hill is saying, thank you for the super chat. It's driving me nuts. What are your favorite colors?
My favorite his GTX. What's your favorite colors for the GTX?
Oh, I like the blue. It was before B5. They called it QQ1. I think it was in '67. I think they look really good in that color. They do look good in silver. I would say blue, the dark blue. Mike DeMayo, Jeff's girlfriend's father wrote our history books and stole nuclear secrets. Yes, I know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I know.
And this goes to, and I was just on this subject in the household over the last couple of weeks, this whole farce of fluoride in the water and in the toothpaste and
fucking with your pineal gland. I know.
Yeah, fluoride is casting slag. It's all. And then, the Carnegies and stuff. Well, I have all this stuff, and I'll tell politicians that the cities need to put it in their water so I can get rid of it and get paid for it. Okay.
Marco is saying it's funny how the good guys have always won.
Yeah.
Read what Patton had to say about World War II. Hey, what's going on, Dickie Farley? Sweaty fat guy. Tony, is the Earth flat? Am I wrong about being a sphere? I don't know. I have no idea. I never really paid too much attention to it. I don't know. It makes sense to me that it would be a sphere, but then there are also some anomalies that kind of contradict it, because there are certain areas where you actually can see and have to measure for the curvature of the Earth. And then there are other situations where you could see clearly way beyond what the curvature of the Earth would dictate you'd be able to see. So I don't know. I honestly don't know about that. Joker, is the Artemis moon trip a distraction? It's their way of telling you that the whole Apollo thing was a farce. That's what this is.
Yeah, because they're not going to the moon, they're going around the moon, which is all bullshit too, because they use the same kind of bad CGI that they used in the original, taking shots from inside the capsule outside and seeing the Earth with a black background and no stars and no never,
And how many times have they said, man has never been this far from the Earth before?
Yeah.
We're the first
they set new records orbiting the moon. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This whole thing is a way.
And pictures brought to you in real time and super clear, like an ultra HD from the far side of the moon. Yeah. Okay. With a capsule with no antenna.
Well, pardon me, the four corners of the earth is an old saying. Yeah, I don't know. That's one of those things I have to throw my hands and say, I honestly don't know. I don't know the shape of what we are or what our realm is actually constructed of. I have no idea.
It's whatever the computer tells us it is. No, it's funny fact. I have never taken pictures of the moon. I had a telescope and looked at the moon. Didn't believe it then.
Let's see. Josh Holman is saying the moon is a bit further away than it was in 1969. What, like 14 inches? Well, I mean, how much further away could it possibly be?
Mystery meat. Oh, you ate one too. They're flat tires and round tires. I prefer the round tires.
Yes, round ones work better, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Hank Hill is right. Whatever our realm is, it gave us 60s Chrysler, and that's all that matters. And I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. They gave us Border Collies and Mopars, and it's like, and Nitro. And it's like, yes, this is a good realm.
Yeah.
A Mopar man is saying, notice they never showed any live footage of the recent orbit around the moon. Dude, every single release that they put out has an Easter egg in it. Every single one, okay? There's an Easter egg in there, okay? Where something is floating and then you see it like half go into the guy's head and then come back out again. All this stuff is happening. Every single one, every single thing that they released has some sort of gotcha in there. All right, this is being done for purpose. There's a reason for this.
They're trying to see if as a human race we're still that fucking gullible that they can launch a spaceship on April Fool's Day. It's saying we're going back to the moon suddenly after 50 years, and then get everyone to buy it because it's on television. Yeah, the rocket went up, okay, and floating around by the satellites. It didn't go through the radiation belts and to the moon, and with its DEI crew and everything else. Yeah.
Let's see. Anybody see the interview Elon Musk did where he trolled the reporters saying he went to the moon and they played golf? Yeah, like I said, if you watch the videos, there's an Easter egg in every single one of them. That's just like that one that they sent up a couple of years ago. Do you remember? It was blue. I forget what it was. So the spaceship was blue.
Yeah, Blue Horizon or whatever, Blue Origin.
Whatever it was, right? And it was so obviously, it was obviously a hoax. It was obviously a thing. And that's what this is too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, very cool. I want to bring that up. I was actually going to do a video on this, but I don't think it's necessary. You say that here that Minnesota is wanting restrictions on driving classic cars, only Saturday and Sunday, and only in daylight. Okay, so only Saturday and Sunday, only in daylight, and only in the process of getting it repaired, or parades, right? Special events that happen, right? So that's what they want to restrict driving classic cars for. And I am completely in favor of that. That's fine. You know why? They're only talking about cars that are using classic plates. If you're registering the car as a classic and therefore circumnavigating all of the inspection rules and all of the insurance and all of the things that have to, and renewals. For instance, here in Tennessee, if you register your car as a collector car, you're only allowed to use it on weekends. You're only allowed to use it to go to and from having it repaired or serviced. You're only allowed to use it in events. That's the restrictions. Now, do people go by that restriction? No. I have classic plates. I've had classic plates for as long as I've lived here. I use my cars every day, all the time. Okay. So I'm in violation of the rules. That's all that's going on in Minnesota. They're like, look, everybody gets these, they get a 25-year-old car. They got a collector plate on it. It never has to be renewed. They don't have to have it inspected or anything like that. And they're just using it every day. So now they're cracking down. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. If all of a sudden Tennessee says, no, if we catch you not following the rules, there's going to be penalties, whatever it is, I'll be like, okay, fine. I chose to cheat the system, and the system caught me, and the system wants me to stop. Okay, fine, I'll do that. So that's what that has to do with Minnesota. If you have an old car, just don't register it as a classic. Register it as a regular car, and don't worry about it.
Pay the taxes, and they're fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bobby Z, it's only if it has collector, if you're registering it as a collector car with collector car insurance and all the other shit. No, and then no restriction on Somalis. No. They can run.
They can do whatever.
Right. Cal Cadot, I live in Minnesota, and my old cars have regular plates. Yes.
Yeah, and it's nobody cares. You pay the taxes. Drive what you want.
Nobody cares how old your car is. They just care that you're registering it as something that you're misrepresenting it. Yeah, it's a classic, but you're using it as a regular car. Plate it as a regular car, and there's no problem. Let's see. Do you see anything?
Nothing that's worth.
No restrictions on Somalis, though.
Yeah.
And Fubar put up the link to my merch. Thank you, Fubar. So you can follow that merch that link to our shirts and our hats and our soon-to-be released new shirt that we'll be showing you soon. It's a cool shirt. I know you guys will like it. And of course, Dr. Art has merch also.
Go to the channel, follow the links, go buy some stuff.
Yes. And dude, it's 2 hours. We blew through 2 hours here.
Well, thank goodness.
And Barry Crude is saying, isn't it where Mary Tyler Moore lived?
On TV, yeah. And Minnesota used to be a decent place. Now
Isn't she the one who threw the hat up in the air?
Yeah. So it's because it was finally the first day of spring, and she had winter disorders.
It was like July.
She's like, yay, it's above freezing, yay.
Who was the other one? There was Mary Tyler Moore who threw the hat, but there was another one that lived in New York that was like the same thing.
Like that girl or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, she was prettier too.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So on that note, Dr. Art, do you have anything that you want to talk about?
No. No, just come on into Monday nights, 7:00 Central, my channel. It's a fun time.
Yeah, Monday night, 7:00.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. That's it. I have nothing else I want to talk about. I do want to thank our awesome mods, Fubar, Zero, Mexican Spec, guys. Thank you so much. What can I say? The best there is. Everybody contribute. Super chat. Thank you so much. It's never expected, but always appreciated. And everybody who contribute your presence and your conversation, thank you equally. Tonight really went off the rails. We went to all kinds of.
We went slightly off last Wednesday, and today it was just straight to.
What's that series that you recommend people watch?
The end of the Cabal.
The Fall of the Cabal.
The Fall of the Cabal.
YouTube. Yes. You guys might want to watch that. It's
don't watch it right before bed because you'll get bad dreams, but watch it.
Yeah, you definitely might want to watch that.
Yeah.
Especially you, Olive. All right.
Yeah.
So, guys, that's it. I'm pulling a plug, and I'll see you. I'll see you sometime.
Sometime in the universe. Bye-bye.
Don't get killed out there.